from Baiwei Toys. It is the Maintenance Team Leader, otherwise known as Animated Optimus Prime. So yes, this is a KO of the Legacy version of Optimus Prime, but from the animated universe. And it's very, very similar, but there are a few differences, which I'll point out. Obviously, you can see he has a gun, but he doesn't only just have that gun. If I remove the axe, he can actually be outfitted with 2 guns. So he comes with some additional accessories. But wait, there's more. And we're gonna go into that more as we get into the review of this Maintenance Team Leader, because there's lots more accessories to go over. And I'm actually going to dare to say this might be better than the official Hasbro version. I dare say. But if you are new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks for coming back. That's very cool of you. And so we're going to go over the Maintenance Team Leader and all of his accessories, and even maybe do a comparison to the Legacy Animated Optimus Prime. Why not? So let's get ready to dive in. But of course, we have to be right back. So you can definitely see in the face where he's been remolded. And to show the difference, here is the Hasbro Optimus Prime, and you can see there's definitely a difference in the face. This one actually looks more like what his face looked like on the animated series. This one, very similar, but not quite the same. There's a tint of blue in the silver on the Maintenance Team Leader's face. But before we get into more of the accessories, I just want to do a quick spin with both of them on the Table of Doom, as long as they cooperate and don't fall over. Because I do want to show you on the back, see there is a difference between the animated, which has red and blue on his light bar, whereas the Maintenance Team Leader just has blue. I'm going to take the weapons off entirely of both of them so we can look at the figures without those distractions. Now the Maintenance Team Leader is this one, and you can see he has a more silver abdomen. His windows are actually clear tinted, whereas this one they may be clear, but they almost look like they're painted black. They're shiny, no doubt. Now, they're pretty much the same height, except his head is a little taller. So the Maintenance Team Leader is 7 and about 3/8 inches tall, whereas the Hasbro, which it is based on, is like 6 and 7/8. So very close to 7 inches. And you can see there's a slight difference in the size. Looking at the backs, I think that the torso portion might be a little bit longer than the Baewei, because life is a Baiwei, and I'm going to ride it all night long. And there's definitely a difference with the head. Now the head actually has light piping on the Baewei. Maintenance Team Leader does have a transparent blue plastic in the back, and the light going through makes his eyes glow blue, whereas just painted face for the Hasbro one. But it's definitely based. It's a slight retooling remold of the Hasbro one, and he even has the ability to put on his battle mask so he can, go really fast and not get bugs in his teeth. There is a switch on the back of the head that allows you to move that mask up and down. So it's some slight improvements. And we are going to come back to this Optimus in a bit, but we've already talked about how the Maintenance Team Leader has his 2 guns, has his axe. He also has a ladder weapon, which could be like a Gatling gun. Yes, those are my sound effects. Who also bleeps, who also creeps, who also sweeps. The what? Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, so he's got this potentially large weapon, and he is worthy to carry the hammer of Thor Mjolnir. No, he's got a replica of Ultra Magnus's hammer that he can use to smash things. But there's more. But before I go through all those accessories, we're going to do some just quick poseability, because I do want to see, can he do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme toes up? Yes, he can. There he goes. He also does have pretty generous ankle swivels, so he could be in a very wide stance. I don't think you'd have him in that wide of a stance, but that works. He can kick forward and back, not quite as high. He can do a side kick, split side kick very nicely. He can knee his opponent right in the groin. And the bend is actually, this angle here is less than 90 degrees. So he can bend more than some things. To be honest, there's a slight increase for some reason, or rather decrease in the angle, more of a bend for the Hasbro one but it's a minor thing. Each leg can swivel 180 degrees around, and or 360, because 180 would be turning around, 360 is all the way around. I know math, I swear. He can twist at the waist, all the way around. His arms can go all the way around. He bends at the elbow. He does have a swivel in his upper arm. It's very nice. His fists actually can twist. Very important for holding the axe two-handed if he wants to. Arms can go out to the side, and the head can turn all the way around. So posability-wise, he is just as posable as the Hasbro one, who can do all those things. And he's, got the bends and the twists and the fists and the head. He's just a little taller. But like I said, he comes with more accessories. So before we even get into vehicle mode, let's look at what he looks like with the accessories. So he has foot extensions. He has the ability to put on these huge boots that snap into place that make him a bit taller. He also has arm extensions, additional fists. What you need to do though, in order to put these on, is take his regular fists and fold them away. They push inward, fold, and go into his forearms, like so. Again, pushing in, folding in, and popping those closed. Then you can take these arm extensions, which have little posts, which it looks like the same holes are on the Hasbro Optimus, so we might be able to put some of this armor at least on him. But that gives him the bigger arms. I could, use some bigger arms though. He looks a little like Popeye. But wait, there's more, because there's this piece that on the back, if you flip down his back plate, you can actually plug this in to the posts on his back and give him these amazing wings that actually have jets on them. Now this can be used as a weapon in his new hands if you want, or you can store it by plugging it right into his back here. But there's more. His guns can plug into his shoulders. There are two holes in there that you can push in. They're actually attaching to the backpack, but now he's even more armed. Now we just have these to deal with. Now he has pretty much the same posability, but we'll go over posability. His hands can open and he can carry the hammer and the axe at the same time. Pretty friggin' cool. He even has ankle swivels in this mode that are quite generous. And Leo is here, Leo Prime. Good to see you, Leo. You like Optimus, don't you? Now, because he has the same hip joints, of course, he can still do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. He can kick forward. Kicking back is actually, I think, a little higher. Side kick, split side kick. Now, he can bend at the knee, though in this case, his thighs are a little short compared to the lower legs. And he can still twist all the way around. Twisting at the waist is still a thing all the way around. The only difficulties now, because his head can still turn, the arms can't go all the way around because of the wings. But they have the same bend at the elbow, the same twist. So that's the only posability that is, how shall we say, compromise, but that's because of the wings. And now he can fly, so twisting him around. And because he's in battle mode, you can push that up, and now he's got the battle mask, which I think looks really cool. So he is awesome in this mode. Now I am going to pop these off because when we transform into vehicle mode, they can't be attached. But I do have to say he is really very enhanced by all these accessories. I'm not going to take his hands out because I'm going to be transforming him soon, but I am just curious how much of this armor can go on the Hasbro Optimus if you wanted to mix and match. Now it appears the arm attachments go on without a problem. It makes me wonder if there is maybe a Japanese version of this character that Takara put out that has all these extra accessories that this knockoff was modeled from. But the leg attachments go on. Now, he may or may not be able to have the backpack. Yes, the backpack can go on him. It's just not quite as secure because the lower posts that are on the back of this one are bigger than the ones on here. So it's not quite as secure, but it's doable. And I will give him a spin on the Turntable of Doom so you can see the Hasbro Optimus with the KO armor. Pretty cool. All right, but we need to remove all this because we need to get him into his vehicle mode. The one thing is, when you seat the feet into these boots, getting them out can sometimes be a little more difficult. So in this case, it got stuck in there and came off, but I was able to get it out. I think that's probably going to be the same for both of these Optimuses, because when I was messing around with this before, getting its feet out, again, a little more challenging. But I do quickly, before I put these guys into the vehicle modes, want to compare the axes, because I have to say that the KO axe, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on that, seems to have a little bit more oomph. They both have clear plastic. They're not that different, but there's a little bit more paint here, a little bit more blade. They are a bit different. I don't know which one you would like better. They both have the little jets on the back, but this one is blue, and I think it actually looks a little bit better than the Hasbro one. Just my opinion. So there is the team leader in vehicle mode, trying to line up the roof. And there are some differences between this and the vehicle mode of the Hasbro, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But the transformation is very similar. Now, one thing is he's only got 4 wheels. But since he's got 4 wheels, time for a roll test. Rolls perfectly fine. Everything is pretty much put together. Now, the difference is, here is the Hasbro one. This actually does have 6 wheels. Now there's the 4 here, and there's 2 down here. Roll test. Actually seems to roll a little easier. Let's try the same. Maybe a little smoother, so I'll have to give that to Hasbro. 6 wheels are better than 4 in this case. Now, how can they look so similar, yet this one has 2 wheels in the front, this one still rolls with only 4 wheels? They made a remold change. These wheels here can slide back and forth. So when you put them into his vehicle mode, rather than having wheels here, you just push these wheels forward, and that gives him the ability to roll. So they did make some changes. Again, you can see the light bar, you can see the black windows as opposed to the clear ones. You can see they both have the yellow detailing little light in the front. Very similar transformation, just some minor changes. But again, the Hasbro one rolls a little bit easier than the maintenance team leader. Now for weapon storage, the Hasbro shows you can plug the axe right in the back there, and that can work similarly, but not exactly the same way for the maintenance leader, though you could always angle it a little bit, put it like that. Not as good. In this case, I will say in this mode, the Hasbro has a little bit better weapon storage. Oh, it's still pretty obvious. He's got a giant axe on his back, really. But you might be wondering what you do with all those other pieces. Well, I'm not showing the assembly process, but the feet go together, you can attach the hammer in here, the arm extensions go here, and this wraps around here. The ladder goes into slots in the former legs, and you have nice attachment that, I actually put this in the wrong direction, whoopsie. When you assemble it, you want to make sure that these 2 posts are facing down, because then you can plug them right into the cab, and the axe you can plug into the side. Now, the one thing I don't really like about this configuration is the handle of the hammer out the back. You can remove it, and you can actually attach it here. I think this looks a little bit better. So it's like another gun or hose that can spray or shoot, whichever one you want to do. So I think that looks a bit better. Just use the handle, that goes up. Now the cab vehicle mode is a hair over 5 inches. In this mode, it's about 8¼ inches if you go all the way back to these jets that can make him really go quickly. The Hasbro one is about 5, maybe 1/8 of an inch. So these accessories on here, wow, just makes him look better as a fire truck, and him in the armor, choice. In my opinion, this is a situation where this KO, I think, is superior than the Hasbro. And if the Hasbro had come out with all the various accessories, which could have then been used for Motormaster as well, maybe make an animated Toxitron. This is basically Wingblade animated Optimus Prime in an updated form. And from what I just glanced at, even the Takara one pretty much stuck with this and did not have all these accessories. Even though, oddly, it does seem to have all the capabilities of interfacing with these additional things. Perhaps it was initially planned, because you can attach all these extra pieces to the Hasbro version and presumably the Takara version, Takara Tomy. And maybe they had plans, and maybe those plans, which they decided they weren't sure that fans would be that nostalgic about animated Optimus Prime, because adding these pieces would have made this, at the very least, a Voyager. I don't know if they would have went with leader class. And if they had gone with leader class, maybe they were concerned that it would not sell. I think this is a much superior toy, but this Baewei Toys Team Maintenance Leader, which is the TW1036. Link in the description, $33.87 or so through Tommy Park's store with free shipping. I mean, that's not even quite a Voyager price anymore. I think this is a really fun toy, really awesome, and definitely, I think, an upgrade to the Hasbro one. Again, all due respect to Hasbro, they do amazing things, but sometimes these other companies go the extra mile, and Baiwei definitely did. So a very fun toy, and I'm recommending it. And if you are having fun watching these videos, by all means, feel free to subscribe. That would be awesome. And while you are mulling over whether you want this much enhanced version of animated Optimus, a team maintenance leader, also check out this video over here, which is a versus review between the original animated Prowl and the Legacy version. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.